Arthur Ashe has revolutionized the way jewelry is made. He was one of the first jewelers/metalsmiths to incorporate such modern technology into their work and has continued to push and change how work in this industry is made. He completed his BFA in Craft and Material Studies from Virginia Commonwealth University in 2002 and his MFA in Metalsmithing and Jewelry Design from Indiana University in 2005. He started working more with technology when he started teaching, as he didn't have access to a studio all the time, but he did have his computer. He now lives in Providence, Rhode Island with his wife, Liz Clark, who is also a jeweler, and they share a studio where they both work together on their art. Liz Clark creates brooches, necklaces, rings, and more, and focuses on the idea of flowers, their language, and the meanings behind them. Her work also has a certain kinetic energy to it when the piece comes together with the wearer, creating a harmonious relationship between the two. She mainly works with sterling silver and has a consistent overall look to her pieces. But whereas Liz has been exploring this idea, Ashe has many different ideas going in many different directions. His work, titled Rarer Than Hen's Teeth, as common as an old shoe, depicts a necklace in the shape of a gigantic toothpaste bottle. He created this using laser-scented nylon powder. The meaning behind this comes from his idea that his work, and wearing his work, becomes a part of his identity. And although this toothpaste is as common as an old shoe, it is meaningful and rare because it has become a part of who he is. And we can see this idea come to fruition in his self-portrait piece that involves random objects but ultimately depicts who he is. Another similar fashion piece of work that I personally love is Heart Vice. On one side it says, "This is it," and on the other it says, "This is shit." Felt an emotional response while looking at this piece and think many others do and can relate it to their own life and work. This is exactly what he set out to do. Arthur Ashe uses discursive design, where pieces are not made for utility but rather made to share an idea and elicit emotional response. Ashe does this in sometimes a dark way and sometimes in a really humorous and wondrous way. He uses traditional craft techniques with digital fabrication technologies such as 3D scanning, CNC routing, laser engraving, water jet cutting, art jewelry pieces, production, jewelry, and wearable interactive electronics. Many methods he uses are techniques we are learning right now, and I am very inspired by his work and hope to not only use his creativity, but his methods with tech to create highly produced pieces of work. And although his work is incredible and inspires many, there are concerns among the artist community that this modern technology will outrun traditional methods. His thought process, though, is that traditional methods will never go away, and that this modern technology only helps artists to become more creative. And we certainly see this in his own work. Ashe pushes boundaries not just with the way he makes jewelry, but by how different and unique his pieces are. Here are some other examples. And Ashe has published books such as Push Jewelry, 30 Artists Explore the Boundaries of Jewelry. This book includes many wonderful artists such as Lucy Cernil and Kessler. Lucy and Arthur both have a love for creating familiar things that are symbols of identity and love. She unfortunately passed away in 2020, but left behind her beautiful work that still inspires and fills her audience with the love and protection she intentionally made them for. Kessler reminds me of Arthur Ashe's fun and weird side. She creates objects that make me smile, and they're not everyday jewelry pieces, but they're more rather representative of feelings. She voices how she cannot describe her own concepts in words, but rather through thoughts and feelings, that they are too big of concepts such as time and nothingness. Other artists who have similar and dissimilar aspects include Matthew Hollern, Kim Cridler, and Nash Quinn. Matthew Hollern uses similar techniques such as Ashe. Ashe primarily focuses on digital technologies, whereas Hollern has found a way to mesh the two together. He uses both many traditional and digital methods to his work, and I think his organization is absolutely wonderful. Kim Cridler has beautiful work that is on the larger scale, and although Ashe does not do huge sculptures like Kim, he does play with scale in his work, and I found that they had that in common. And I also just wanted to mention her because I love her work. Nash Quinn is another artist who uses a lot of enameling in his work. Ashe and Quinn's work is very different, but Quinn has some really awesome use of technology that creates some really wonderful pieces. One of my favorites is called Trigger Studies, and the video for it is really, really awesome. Arthur Ashe's work is brilliant, but what I found that was very interesting is his passion for teaching and sharing. He does not lock away his ideas or practices, but instead he puts them out in the world. Through his blog, he shares new machines and technologies, his struggles and solutions, and how he makes his work. He's also an educator and has taught at several universities. Arthur Ashe, overall, has transformed much of the art world with his mix of traditional and technical practices and continues to push boundaries and encourages others to do the same.